November is Osteoporosis Month, and looking to obviously stem the continuing kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for like the folks who are getting it. Like, we're trying to like stem that tide of people who get it in their older age, and there's a way to prevent it. With me is Margaret Martin, physiotherapist, author of these two books as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Author. I think it's just a total amazing feat to be able to write and have something published. It's just like mind-boggling amount of work. Was it?
It was.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yes.
That's what I thought. So it's exactly how I think it would be creating a book like this. What's interesting to me is I always hear about ways to change your diet to guard against osteoporosis. And that is, of course, important, I'm sure.
It's a key fact, absolutely.
Okay, so you want to, what are the things? Calcium?
Yeah, trying to get your calcium through your diet is important.
Because there are some concerns with vitamin-delivered calcium, actually, right?
Yeah, the supplemental.
The supplemental,
calcium,
and so and whether or not you absorb it, and whether or not it's the same as getting it from broccoli, for instance.
Yes, although broccoli is not your first choice because of certain things within broccoli that actually interfere with the absorption.
Oh, okay.
So your Chinese greens, like your bok choy, your kale, those are actually better choices. Even oranges, actually.
Right on. Okay, that's good. That sounds good. So.
But my area is exercise.
Yes, I know. So we're getting that. So all these people concentrating on these foods. How does exercise strengthen your bones? I always think of just your muscles, or even the tendons maybe getting a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so there's two actually key parts of exercise. One is the actual loading, which is why when people say weight bearing is important. So every time you take a step, every time you load down, that loading, that vibration that happens when your foot reaches the ground or when your hand in a push-up position reaches the ground, that loading and vibration goes up through the bone and stimulates bone growth. Ah. So that's part one.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that on weight bearing, which is why the elliptical trainer or the bicycle, there's not very much loading. There's not that shock absorption each time.
So impact is important for bones.
Yes.
So when you talk about, it doesn't have to be high impact, but definitely medium, I would imagine.
Yes, yeah. And so even when we look at walking, for instance, they found in numerous studies, looking at all these studies, that walking at a leisurely pace is not enough to stimulate bone. You actually have to walk at a brisker pace. So you don't, and you have to run, but walking briskly, running also helps. But those things are really beneficial. But unfortunately, they only help up to the hip. It's like the shock absorption happens, all through the leg, and then it sort of stops. So that's where exercising muscles attached to the spine become really important for preserving the muscles of the spine. Yeah,
so really inactivity is the enemy here.
Yeah, in so many things.
Yeah, it seems to me that, it's such an age-old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, and that is the case with almost everything. If you don't exercise your heart, it weakens. If you don't exercise your body, your bones weaken too, and that, I don't know that a lot of people know that, actually.
Yeah, so each time our muscle contracts, and the stronger the contraction, the stronger the muscle pull on the bone. So the more bone building stimulus happens.
Okay. How about something for simple? Can we show something simple for those at home? An exercise that isn't super complicated? I mean, if you really want to strengthen, you get the books. That's how that works. But something really quick that maybe folks can do when maybe a quick exercise that they're time strapped.
Folks that are watching this right now are either sitting or standing, but oftentimes they're sitting or standing without a lot of regard to their deep postural muscles. Okay. And so I would like to bring attention to those muscles. And can I share do I have time to share a little story?
Actually, we're super tight on time, so if we could just do the exercise, and you can tell me the story after.
All right.
All right.
No problem.
Okay.
Is if you could actually take your position from where you're sitting or standing. If you're sitting, get away from the back of the chair.
Sit forward on the edge of your seat.
And preferably with your hips a little higher than your knees. And then what I want you to actually think about doing is lengthening from your tailbone all the way through to the crown of your head.
Oh, that feels good, actually.
Yeah, it feels nice, eh? And you're actually increasing the space between your rib cage and your pelvis. And if I was going to come back and feel muscles in your spine, if I said, now I want you, those deep muscles, I want you to now think about tightening those deep muscles so that throughout the day, you can actually be causing some stimulus to the muscles that are attached to the spine. That's
amazing. Listen, Margaret Martin is her name. She's a physiotherapist. You look for these books, Yoga for Better Bones and Exercise for Better Bones. I got a giveaway for you if you email us. That's ottawacontest@ctv.ca, and tell me the author of that book. All right? Just spoken to her. She's reading. I will give you both of the books if you're the first one through with that. Ottawa contest at ctv.ca. Margaret, it's amazing information. Things I don't know, I learn on a daily basis. Very cool. Exercise to keep your bones healthy. All right, we're back with more on CTV Morning Live after this.